My name is Judith Teasdle. I am the Concertmaster of the Macomb Symphony Orchestra. I was born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan, and now live in Northwest Detroit. I've been with the orchestra as concertmaster for 6 years now. I really enjoy coming to Macomb because it really feels like a community within the orchestra. Everyone comes to the table to really love the music. It's an exciting opportunity for me. I've had a lot of sub-principal positions before, but this is my first concertmaster position, and I'm really enjoying it and watching the direction that Andrew Neer is taking the orchestra, and just the evolution of it, and watching everyone's responses to it, and everyone coming together to really form a common goal as we move through our seasons and develop. I'm a gardener. I'm all different kinds of gardener. I've always done it. Do a lot with herbs and old plants. Also grow some food, although we aren't particularly successful at doing that, but we're trying. So I like to do that. I like to cook. And I think that what's really necessary for musicians is, everything we do, there's nothing to see, there's nothing to hold on to, and you can always do it better, and you can always do it again, and you do it with a different interpretation. Like, you can play the same piece 40 times, but it's always going to be a little bit different, and it can always be just a little bit better. And what's so wonderful about gardening or food preparation, you can say, look, I did this, this is, and it's pretty, and it's done, or it's tasty, and it's, so those are my hobbies, I guess. Well, my grandpa was a fiddle player, and he was taught by his father, and neither were technically trained or classically trained at all. My grandfather did fiddle and a little bit of blues, and from the moment I could speak, I said, I want to do that. So I literally don't ever remember not playing the violin. I actually brought in this photo here of him and I playing him playing the violin and me standing under him clapping my hands. And I probably am 2 in that picture. So, like I said, it's something that's always been in my life. When it comes to when did I realize it was something I wanted to do as a profession, it was probably going into college, which is kind of the normal time when most musicians kind of come to that. And there were 3 pieces for me that absolutely put me over the edge. And I was classically trained, played a lot of solos, played a lot of chamber music, but I'm primarily an orchestra musician, and they were Daphnis and Chloe by Ravel, American in Paris by Gershwin, and then Shostakovich Fifth Symphony. All 3 of them tell a story. And that for me, Ravel paints all these beautiful colors that you can literally see, and in the American in Paris, you can hear the horns honking and the traffic going by, and my mind was just blown that as musicians we could create a magical space that you could actually see the music. And then, of course, Shostakovich Fifth, if you don't know the story, you should. And it was also my introduction to Shostakovich. It was the first thing I'd ever heard or played by him. So it was just mind-blowing. Learn a piece or relearn a piece, or when I'm teaching a piece to my students, I always think it's important to have a story. I think it's always important to have a vision or a person that you're trying to convey to your audience, and your audience may never know what that story is or what it is that you're thinking of, but just having that direction, that intent as you go through the piece, so to really try and get a certain thing across to your audience is really important. With this piece, that is already there. And if you know it, you can't imagine the story without this music. It's really so beautiful and haunting, yet it leaves some hope at the end, and that, you know, it kind of encompasses lots of, in such a short period of time with 3 themes, like a lot in it, you know, just like the movie does, just like the story does. But if you don't know the story, this music makes you want to know the story. So if there is somebody in that audience that we touch collectively and get them to learn about this on any level, whether it's they watch the movie or they read or they go to a museum, or, you know, I think that's really, really important. I think it's far more important what the music has to say than what I have to say through it. And I think that's what we're trying to achieve here, is just, this is how important this is.